Yeah, and Sama, the Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idris, ready to you. But and I'm the Krata Babonting rejoinder and I'm clarify the teacher training allowance remarks on a press release. Omo Edeba Bonton. I'm making Kaibi and Mamo. Also, the Ministry of Education has taken note of a front page publication in the Tuesday, 4th February 2025 edition of the Daily Graphic with a headline Teacher Training Allowance to Go. The headline is not only sensational but misleading, as their own narration of the story indicated. We wish to categorically state that the news item does not reflect the true and accurate reporting of what the Honorable Minister stated. The Honorable Minister, during his interaction with the executive of the principals of colleges of education, explained that government is open to augmenting the financial needs of students in the colleges of education. To this end, he indicated that government will seek to consider an enhanced loan scheme for students in this category. If need be, in addition, the minister was emphatic that government will maintain the allowance until further deliberations on a firm agreement is reached with all stakeholders. We therefore urge the Daily Graphic to correct the wrong impression created and to give this rejoinder the same prominence as its earlier publications. Media houses are encouraged to verify information with the ministry where they have doubt so as not to cause unnecessary concerns among our cherished stakeholders. The Ministry of Education reiterates its commitment to policies that support teacher trainees and education delivery at large. We urge the public to disregard the misleading publications and rely on official communication from the ministry for accurate information. We a ministry no almost so krata on the betrabo. Nina say omo HSE enra Daily Graphic name omo de beto ho say minister akoka say education meka teacher training allowance no omo be ye free ho na omo minister anka ne sa na de o kire nyina ne say enei allowance no be koso na mom omo be san ahye sika ye de emma students no mukena na omo timi aboa e de ahwe omo ho abo omo ho bra kopem say omo di nkomo na ma say ehu be hia say omo be yi allowance no free no man can categorically say omo yi allowance no free ho. But utie minister no nsem o kan na efa baabi no yakoye say asem na graphic de buy no aye no because okay say gradually as the engaged stakeholders no mu didin komo na ebe free honom enti which one is which de he ene de he we aye de abanei Daily Graphic asaba bonten said minister takas omo konko yi na for mo fa aye correct one nkoto no omo so mu gina bebi omo gina because omo wodi a omo nan esiso a womo ekasa eno ansem beto ehei amanfo atwene se ene abasa aka ho ensem ahodo bebree woso ma menti wadwen kire ewo ensem no mo betimi dia fa 0551599933 obetimi aba na afei woso ode wadwen kire ede afaso WhatsApp message ode ba yen sabeka na afei yade onso yakenkan se de right yeko ne president of the Teacher Trainee Association Ghana Ora Razak Swali akwa kodin komo ede afa allowance no. Good morning Obeni.
Yes, good morning.
Na what to say?
Yeah, me hoye.
Utubeka twino na will it be comfortable?
Let's go with English.
Okay, all right. All right. Now, there's this confusion as to what the minister has come out with the in relations with the teacher trainee allowance. Possibly you were there when the minister met you. What actually transpired when the minister met you and discussed with you on the teacher trainee allowance? Or what actually transpired when the two of you met?
Oh, good morning again, and good morning to your loving followers. For a fact, we were not at a meeting. It was a meeting between our principals and then the honorable minister. By then, we were having our tag week celebration at the double.
Okay, so you are the president of the Teacher Trainee Association.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Okay,
exactly.
Okay, all right, exactly. All right.
So to us as students, we have long been looking forward to an improvement in our allowances and then the maintenance of the teacher training allowances than an enhanced loan scheme, even though we know every government would have the best interests of their citizens at heart, and more so teacher trainees in the country. So the enhanced loan scheme, we are still looking for looking to maybe there are some aspects of it that are still not known to us as students. But as it stands now, we as students would go for teacher training allowances and for maintenance and improvement.
Well, what can I say? Some country they are betting me at your senate about Brofanamba.
Yes, sure.
Okay. What can I say? No. More chese, more dear money jisenka allowance no be hot and some benya a enhanced student loan scheme no. Chemo, I don't think money allowance no change a loan scheme and loans no.
Yes, the idea behind the allowance is to serve as a buffer to students in the colleges of education. It equally motivates other people to pursue teacher education. You will hear so many comments that have always demotivated people for pursuing teacher education in the country. So if you consider this brain behind the reintroduction of the allowances in 2017, and you compare it to the reasons for why enhanced loan scheme is about to be introduced or has been existing, these are quite two different ideas, different one of course, because the enhanced loan scheme is to help students to pay their academic fees, including school fees. So allowances are not meant to be paid to be used to pay school fees. So what you should be looking at is improving the allowance so that this will translate into better feeding conditions in the colleges. The food in the colleges is not something that is very about, and this all comes from the allowances. If you're taking it off, then the feeding will become a problem again in the colleges. So these are some of the views behind us supporting the allowance scheme instead of the student loan.
Well, a bit argue say more, you say you upgrade more, you more call the level of the universities more degree awarding and incredible. So if that is the case, there, young family to set the university for now. Why then do you advocate say more the allowance name no enkaho?
Yes, this constant argument. One thing you and I need to agree with ourselves is that the colleges of education, even though have been upgraded to the tertiary status, we still don't have the needed infrastructure in place to call ourselves as such. Because over the years, you would come to learn that successive governments have paid constant attention to traditional universities, the universities in the country and the senior high schools, leaving teacher education in a balance. So for us to be able to transition this very well and then consider the fact that trainees in the colleges of education are tertiary students, and for that matter, they should be allowed to feed themselves and not being fed, then all of these problems should be looked at before we can be having that conversation. But for now, what would help the colleges very much is the payment of the allowances.
Right, Enti Mamusa said now Aban say, why don't you then fight to be at the level of the university, but rather you maintain baby amona?
It is not that we want to maintain where we are. We have long started this advocacy with our principals and our teachers too as well. You would have come to learn sadly that CTAC has constantly been going on strike. These are some of the things, because even to upgrade them to, even though the colleges of education has been upgraded to a tertiary status, our teachers were still regarded as teacher training colleges, and they have been pushing this fight and going on a lot of strike. We have started this engagement equally with our principals to attract more development into the colleges, but that has not yielded any positive results for the past years. About 3 years ago, when the colleges were teacher training colleges were upgraded to colleges of education. So these are some of the concerns we have been pushing long before. So if these things had been put in place, I think you and I will not be having this conversation as to students feeding themselves in the colleges.
All right. Once again, Mr. Musa said the allowance now acquire some kind of incentive, I bet draw a man for to the universities, to the colleges, teacher education. Is it Juma? Are people still enticed to go to the colleges of education because of the allowances?
Yes, people still go, and you look at the numbers so far that are coming out from the colleges, looking at the need of the country for teachers. We need, professional teachers. So if you look at the ratio, there's still a gap, and then there are still people who go into teacher education because of these incentives that have been put in place in the college space. But that is just one aspect of it, because the teacher training allowances is also to help students to be able to acquire their essential academic items and other and their handouts and then what have you. So these things still motivate people to go, but for it to better serve its purpose and motivate more people, then we should be looking at a way of enhancing it.
So allowance kruya yete ho nsem bebre ene yebete na musu ena ban entria ena akamu ene nkroneba. With all these ups and downs and what have you know, enya appropriate say yebe ye free home na yahwe alternative like the enhanced loans betimi aboamo.
Yes, I agree with you on that point, but one cannot gladly assure that when the enhanced loan schemes are also being introduced, they are not also going to be delayed in disbursement. The allowances that are supposed to be paid every month, it is for a fact that sometimes it delays more than a month. But nonetheless, the payment of the allowance is still in session. The disbursement is still ongoing. Some arrears are left to be paid, but some too have been paid, and some are still being paid. Just last week, some 1 hour payment, some 1 month payment was done to teacher training from the arrears that were being owed. So these are the conversations. So we cannot completely assure that when the enhanced loan scheme are being introduced in the colleges, students are going to get a swift disbursement of the allowances. That's still uncertain. So for now, let's stay with the allowances and help government to be able to increase the consistency or the frequency for which government disburses these allowances to be able to serve its purpose.
So far, allowances
currently we are owed in arrears of 3 months.
Okay.
For the 3 months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Once again, Mamusa say, Mote say, and the Minister of Education, Eba Bontia, Ebe told you say, you be ye free honor the enhanced students loan abano. More as students saying, and I'm a fan.
Please pardon me. Can you take it?
All right. I'm saying that when he heard the news that the Minister of Education has said that he's going to do away with the allowances and then introduce the enhanced student loan, how did you take it?
Yeah, it was a very there was a big reaction to us as students, because this is the least we expect. We are looking forward to the allowance being maintained and not being cancelled. So undoubtedly, receiving the news that the allowances are on the verge of being cancelled, even though the minister was only hinting and not the truth, it didn't go down well with us as well. But we're hoping that the ministry will listen to the concerns of us as students and then put into consideration some of the challenges we face in the colleges.
Right. Mr. Musa said, Utian statement, yeah, there's the likelihood that you be a free honum. Ye free honum, what would be the steps you would take?
Yes, when the allowances are being removed or being cancelled, the best thing we can do is to look for better alternatives in order to help students in the colleges of education.
In this case, which one would be a better one for you? In this case, what would be the better alternative for you?
Well, the alternatives are still being discussed, and you know very well there is an education conference coming up. So there are definitely going to be recommendations that are going to be made, and then more so we are going to be there to make sure our voice are also being heard, and then we equally suggest some alternatives to ensure that the trainees in the colleges of education are not disadvantaged.
So, so far, how much are you paid per month?
Yes, we are paid for 400 Ghana cedis a month.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, what can I say? 400. What should you ma what listed there? Go honum, mo feeding, mo books, mo research work. Is it enough?
Undeniably, it's not enough. It's not enough because that's why I said the feeding is actually very bad. The quality, the quantity is very bad. It's an eyesore.
But you are lucky that your fellows at the other universities are not being fed at all. But you have something at least to rely on.
Yes, exactly. So if we had the needed facilities to be able to feed ourselves, we would have opted for that gladly. But where we are right now, we don't have that in place. So the least that can be done is for feeding to continue.
So you think that Ojuni says allowance no one, apart from more research work, more books, it will help you with your feeding, not so?
Yes, the feeding is something that is helping students, I must say. And like I said, the quality has completely deteriorated. Even the quantity has equally reduced drastically. But like I said, one thing we can do, or one thing the ministry can do, is to enhance these allowances so that the purpose can be met at best.
Instead of enhancing the allowances, will you also advocate, say, any Yanfanko feeding, or improve more feeding? Will you advocate for that?
Yeah, sure. We have long been calling for this too as well.
So instead of the allowance, it should be into the feeding. Is it okay?
Well, if we have an enhanced feeding and the allowances, you don't have allowances, or you have a little allowances, it's something that is good, because I mean, the allowances that comes to you, definitely some part of it will go into getting you something to sustain life in the college. So if you're able to get the right proportions in your meals, it's a good thing for us.
Right, Razak Swali, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Right. Razak Swali, Onoe, President of Teacher Trainees Association Ghana, and Yanino Ekodi and Komo. Wafagofia Atnasi, na yashase from the Ministry of Education. Na mebacho yabotepu no ediem na yakenkan the release and the Ministry of Education and the by wafase ba yebedi ho enkomo eye wafa over to you na fe yenhwe yewi abehwe parliament and the minority now omotwe ho free some approval of some members of ministers are omo eveti omo no so emodin na yahwe ho ensem na yedi ho enkomo over mamentio
Kodi education for teacher training allowance CD him say enya sem foforo.
Yeah.
So okay at 2016 election. Mampeni dada Mahama. Eka say even if it will cost him his presidency untua. Because who say sa teacher training allowance ni tua no nya de hu hia bio. Because can na man form person bekom. Ene dey share the buy. Ene ye training teachers ne kra me buso a.
According to Swali, or say still your deficit.
Your deficit.
Yeah, manfwa.
Your deficit. But you're not in age now buy sika or bit me the afraid for.
Okay.
What is your nurse teachers be rofi? Baby once we hear Baba and Timmy for women at once.
Anyway.
So the abandon will say, and ya dear ye entice amount for so monko bill. People willing want to go. We no benye dwuma ye nko ade a ono abeko. So what the need say you allowance too. You say ya page can na certificate o. Your teacher training ko ma certificate. And the upgrading no call diploma. And the upgrading na ma be degree. It will be we college of education. Degree no wono. Wetin dey akoy masters a wa call KNUST Cape Coast University of Ghana Legon mo de ko ni bia. E the same degree no mo so ye. The aban ne hu no say say we be traditional university na urge students loan there and now then also college education also degree corner be now they just say amount what do you call it allowance but on say and I don't know this was some more kind, no. Okasafa omo feeding here they say a wolfling that goes so is capa ye dey hear almost say oh yeah war college education they feed you it's right to over here some enhances our financial position no but yeah say we replace students allowance with students loan if you miss students loan no yeah papa but we had any year and this
and this saying what chemu na
students own the omoji the whole year.
Omoji saying
it's ranging from 1,500 to 3,000 cities.
1,500 to 3,000
yeah,
a year.
Yeah, students loan.
As
at
month,
last year, no.
Uchi per month now. Say a year, 3,000 to 5,000. And say 3,000 krana say 300 a month. Just
10 months.
A jabem krana. So okay.
And I know see Zika.
Ubetua.
We school Ubetua.
With interest.
It is compound interest. Compound interest say why we school not this year untia is who ya so tua this year no ye de koka principal no ho and sana subsequent year next year no ye de calculate interest sika so tua na ye ama to obi oji student law why we school onyanya adwuma nya bia no ka hu se osika na oje ye no ye compound interest no de ka ho ya dachi bia onya adwuma ba ye den wetua so that's it but we allowance the amount 400 cedis a month. Of course, you inform more throughout the year. A period now war school no and now J. Assume so we did just 6 months of the year and crying school. Who multiplies 4 times 6 say it's 24. That's 2,400. And non can the omudi no home. Also if you do Sana period now school no. Yes, I'm 400 cedis a month. We school untriare. Student bay and a what training Kalibaka and say, Unya way na oje, you feed no, whether bad or so no cassette, the anene, and yes, saying cranoa, what's our 400 Ghana's day? I can home. I'll use school, only capre could you. Near some student low 3,000, over 4 years, baby, you know, no accumulated 12,000. Unya Jumania, a compound interest, no, copies of Benjamin as I said, at all. It took good in me and not to definitely the allowance is better than the loan.
But operation from this angle, so say now there's an upgrade. Musoma Bay University, and I say a degree awarding institution. Into I didn't hear from you now, Kujina baby Fakum. More on your degree because yes, and any more a year other traditional universities so allowances in the beer.
Only my dear Bako, I may me pese me, and they say. Ye jai so bia nko school na uwie school what dey abechara dey and I say a teacher training ye specialized institution ye titi di pa mo machara dey
specialized institution
exactly
okay
so
it's ye fan say nursing for and we specialized what do any chema I also police training college and I say for almost specialized there to mu nyina agi allowances into sanity dey omo maka no so yenye ne sa anyway
it is also ye ne sa u james straight say ni nyina nko loan there and ye not say o said that when he said that ni ho say o de me ko bia me hian say o ba be kira de ma me. So
if abu na abu ya say mu kure bebere titifie.
Onim Dr. Duchum no or the principal be by. So mutimi ye ne saade a ene me advocate say yenyi friend say allowance no fio. Dr. Duchum be kan say so obi ko bi aka NUSC na akoye fixes a. Oye fixes no 4 years we are. Ohwe pedagogy na wasua fixes more. A chair wa call training college no because the education more it will no we nan ke be ma ba ye 1 year education e de aka ho now I qualify say on also ye teacher say wa call training college na bia and say omumiem because they say ye fa wa college education no wo ne ye pe say be kira de
na eno emfa problem in education because obi abekwa akofa ha no abe one be e be sa so a the entity the my education so ho beto se
eno nti na de o pese o she da ko sua eno nko a no so man specialized treatment
anyway
so that's it
anyway
it do man special o pese o wi a sa de we nko a no onye dey o meye
all right
it is how you this nkrase no ye hia more teachers o ho a e de nti na aka se ono so nkofa sa system na aka na ene ono so baka se sa na te de ne me nko wi me kwa koye degree bi affects biology mathematics, English. We are my diploma in education. I can't home. That means something there. Either 7 the bachelor there, and then you my full be my day. With the acquire. Okoye is happy. The Okoye degree straight now. One may teacher, one co-teacher training college, you know. Oh no. The nine back on the see teaching the move. Back acquire day. See a bonting go see a general course no or person or you know. It's your education kakre bi na say or your first na say bia
akwenya beto bia
of course is
ya na akasi me kodi teacher kakra no nyejuma papa bia meja akoyo
but you no training college in there or fan say professional or they efemu body bra owie no yen masters kra or yen still allow with education no owie bia or yen PhD ai aka ho it to me no say omu gya na si ye free o say ye no so omu nyina anyi loan no bia ebema emu ai ha ama bema amanfo a omu so bibre na kofa ho no mo a wo mo wo akoma pa no se me de miwie no ma bekira de so ebema be say all the other universities na tie na efe de na nye specialized institution bi o say ho de o koje ntete say o ba bekira de. All right. That's what I see.
Well, hold on na menkwa homanso na mene Dr. Frank Owusu Ansa, Deputy Dean Students Affairs, Chairman SIDAC ma Wesco na nkohwe trainee feeding any allowance. Franco Naru ena mene kodi enkomo. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, KOD.
Na boko de.
Oh, nyame adom bibia boko na so.
Nyame adom yenso ho ye pa. Na anope de enye bone na yedidi nkomo edefa teacher trainees enho ensem ene aban ese ombetena se no masan ahwe se allowances a yedema eye teacher trainees no yebeye free one ya momo enhanced loans ene ne nkro ne ba na ya ne nkwada ne bi di nkomo na omo ekasa efa omo feeding ho ene omo san kafa efa omo allowance no ho mense me no mienu nyina no yafa this situation mu epen enti wadaroma mayanhwe eye teacher trainees omo feeding ne ho sensem ne allowance ma menye wadwenche because na wo honom oni students ne enya encounter oni eye mpanyifo so nya encounter sen ena situation no etia nkasa
ya KOD me da say am say you dream komobisi ana ya kai yehu way back in 1995 96 when we were on the campus of Akokeri College of Education. Those times, Otisa Lawaba not as a NGA Abba our campus. But clearly, who had the current situation now? And Comodiano Abekoso, Uti, Abining Kasaye, Daily Graphic publication, and even the minister and voice now born in the now. Actually, maybe I know who say, on my bomb, Trimo Post allowance, you know. Amubi edi efiro na omode students loan na ababe replace you know. Yes, now the argument say if the colleges of education have now been elevated to the status of universities there, Adentina senior other traditional universities, the second University, Legon, University of Cape Coast and all that no. Almost soon yes, no mun koji student loan nibi na omunjai allowance no amode momo. Ofakufia pia eka niyi pa chere se anokwasem ne se uhwe sene neme city a colleges of education no kamera ko se no ye specialized institution chere se entity no uria uni bibi fufuru bia ye training se ode koye other than se oba be chade ewo yen basic schools no na ubisa who say omaya yaboso akodu level say ye free education from the basic school now to the secondary school then na ehube here say acheche for no so a ye hwe say omubeko akosua de abeche omade no it means so masane ewo question koso one major reason for me a master allowance you here and say KOD, unime aye ako college bi. Ye free be teaching and learning material. And yema who do ube prepare ube kwa kochira de. In need and kwadame ba from first year, second year, third year to fourth year ni minano. Ye free be and they asking the time me kind of teaching practice. They say ye fellow SDS supported teaching in schools. Now from first year no omoko STS me saa kopim se omobewie na bisa ho se enye saa allowance kakra e dey ma wo mu ya ebeden na wanya sika wo si me mesua de kire na me mekira de enti semi asabio police for police training na itu a omobeto omu niema omobe ya de ayi training ni ade nyina ba ni provide no ehu be hia so se niema me nso to make me a me di besua teacher di na me di abedi teacher ama o man na tumpon no ekwa bi so esa abai de training nyina nso so eso matene e ma me nsaka saa niema no eno ene di ntipa ehu akohia ena uhwe matisa ofa west ko ha ebi kotafo ebi ko eye asuofu ya nti se allowance kakra so no eno enebo mu mutimi faka edidi saa kwani abai unlike those in the traditional universities are omunye this kind of STS ayeken no ono no abai no ene ntitie no enhye no se onfaka enko other schools no enko ye STS no ba ye mai die esese omufaka ekoye saa STS no eno achi omu prepare teaching and learning materials ahodo edit teacher di no na impomu saa de atrade
doc na obi eka se omuso in a way omuso ye research na se for no so hwan sika no mfan some no more personal sika na no omuso di you
omo universities
the Mika traditional universities
the Mika no omo hay omuso ye research ni bi
okay
the Mika in addition to the research that is being done by those in the traditional universities. It's not like say yeah, omo research and we require research. No. In addition to all the things they do over there, your students now have additional one. I don't know. And to hear the omu family na implicit those demands on them. And no further specialized institutions I would honor. I'm not so much privy to the curriculum of those in the army, but year past there, Obi call army training na etuo abuba etuo ene saa ne mene nyina na nyo no to but ye nkwada ide omo na beto materials no ne saa ne mene nyina enti na hu be hia say so omo allowance atra but unim ya na ebi adwan omo say feeding no is different from allowance. In fact allowance no ni feeding na ya de ba ku 400 Ghana cedis a month na saa 400 Ghana cedis no and no na yeti omu feed ni free ma de beka se near their mom. As you speak, a best shock you say in this time of life, omu feed every day 8 cedis 50 pesos.
Enti 8 cedis 50 pesos no na say 400 na sound.
For 3 meals.
Wow.
8 cedis 50 pesos. And the feed empanyinfo omu training college no anopa every day anyumre. 8 cedis 50 pesos. Enti busume no so a ye calculate say sikani nyina free mu a na ya tie free de be ka akiri no eno ene ye din so omunsam as allowance.
Wow.
The allowance na ye ka no obi en ho a wonya 200 normally is around 120 or so.
Wow.
My calculation very well, but every day they are fed on 8 cedis 50 pesos for breakfast, lunch and supper.
Enti omu complain say duane no sabia eho asam wo ho a no mudika
me no ka say abeye nchinu ahia kese ewo matron any principals nentem some matrons feel say sikano enso entinka principals nfa internally generated funds ni be en support e de beya sikano betimi afidi omo principals no so se Ghana mra ma me kwai e basa e betimi de na public accounts committee akobisa ne say wa misapply funds into a big problem. So instead of thinking about enhanced students loan, why do they call it enhanced students loan? Sometimes these are just words they are playing with. So also we students loan to say other universities now. Other no more than they would to the enhanced students loan. But the funding of enhanced students loan is say who students loan a cost. Once again, other internal person who the construction others. As the chairman said, wouldn't you say, as soon as soon could be the almost or much is a loan now, a question else soon, no Besides that, if you want me to be trained and come and teach people other internal near me here, training, whilst other specialized institutions They are provided with the needed equipment and the training devices and all that. So for me, instead of thinking about enhanced students' loan, they should rather think about enhancing the allowance.
All right.
But if you are familiar with the beliefs of the current government and the previous one, no, may a short term come away in your day. It's there. Yeah, Kenya, no. At the end of the day, sika and the dear, a buying say, or person ye free. Sika or they students, so now they want more mobile here. And send your Fakufika, you know. So the view of Bosia or Boa, dear, but and yet the dear Sao. At the back, I was the KOD. Course outline a fire a BOK University, Uko Department of Teacher Education, I say. Now, the ma a had the no, a year a nipani biacono, Nemunti, or mobile colleges, instead of the traditional universities, this kind of allowance. Otherwise, a lot of people would have preferred choosing the traditional universities instead of the colleges of education. In Tihana de Nkaja only be more Broma and in the level I see a boy only be for more mathematical school and in free education near the there. Nany education is near in TSC any break near this Casio. Now, only be our Morio if you know, Sabi, Utimitia admission fee Kakra. Nanka system let Mason at me, oh, we are. Baba Bechra de am impuntu Saba Omaini.
Doctor, I'm up for argument. Say you heard from the angle saying the teachers won't be real. I'm posting hons and some said their hons some TNT. If you want my betting me at do no more so now a yisa problem so if you are sending and so back.
Kofobe Green Soccer University Scrum Motifi and Yama investors admission near the Ninkas way.
Anyway,
we are not the free honor. Most of people are moving, and no more colleges of education in the Ufi. Omono are buying the resources training omono. Omuria, they are posted.
Okay.
The one Ufi, distance education, most of these universities, your sandwich programs, your what do you call it? Distance programs are enable no aya or fan to see them through the sandwich and through the distance programs. And no, Anna Ama a fan so abiguetri. If we think as a country we have excess teachers, then maybe we would have to put a pause on those areas. Trust you me, the quality of training that is given to people who pass through the 4 years teacher colleges of education program, I think very high, and it's because of these TLMs and STS near there, the DOMO FM. So the moment they take all those things away, I'm sure that we'll get to a point where okay, a loan, if it is loan there, then the loan Ukraino open out here. It creates a whole lot of issues. Rather, they should rather enhance the allowance instead of taking it off.
The enhancement of the allowance, a student leader no din come no chesen kebeya nka ombetimi enhance mo feed no kra na nka allowance no kra ka krebia. Meaning your stake on that one too.
Yeah, I think my explanation was Ghana buying HS car or allowance. And the allowance will be draw. It will be principals, any of the matrons, any of the airfus, AEB, any feedium. It's not like the feeding music but different.
Okay.
Now the allowance are but different. No.
Okay.
The allowance 400 out of the allowance, feeding fee is taken away from it. The remainder is what is paid to them as allowance.
Dr. Frank Owusu-Ansah, medicine no pay any obra when yadiamai. Right. We Dr. Frank Owusu-Ansah, a Deputy Dean Students Affairs and a Chairman of SITAC Westco, and I Nikodin Komo a trainee feeding and allowance or sign a Kessben Media. Menko and Soma Paho na menininku riri. Ano pay menini riri na afi yabetwaso ewa. Soma pa?
Yes, boss.
Na wako die.
Yes, Adam now say.
Nyami Adam no yepa. Send us some come
Oh, and come on, pa.
Woman come, Masum Yamde, into the Momenti. And
And come
then,
off free Tabia Herbal Company Limited.
okay.
Say they be a casa for a pum de honsem. Na your bon kai say. A drubia benuma ko ni pejuenimino. Aya hwehunu say drone ko ni pejuenim. E boana SCC we name mom enko fire boni bia enfamro. Enti anopai die ye wa ha say ye beton Tabia ye nupa no e dia ma. Tabia Herbal Company Limited ye Kumasi Putuja Asante Mantemo. Ye na message
0243
68
68
68
68
61
61
0243 68
68
68
68
61 and I say 0245 74 92 06 0245 74 92 06 and then make us for your product 4 ni na
okay.
Tabia Herbal Mixture no Tabia Zanike no Tabia Herbal Capsules no na me di baby na ka ho Tabia takum no ye nyina ye nhye ne nso ne yehunu se malaria yare bi e ha nipa adwene na etiti nipa edi nipa timi ko owo ma ne yeye pa enti mesra wutie me na yare wo so malaria typhoid fever na entempara wa ma ho aye ha wa Tabia Herbal Mixture ni bia no eno ne edura ene etimi malaria yare no etu ase kroji free ni padwanim ade ba ko ya study ni se course ne bayana dodo na ta bisa se mpacho Tabia Herbal Mixture no etimi sa typhoid fever na eye na duro kese na duro kese pa no on se typhoid fever ne de ye nya ne se bia entontom na abekawo da bi eno de eye se aboa na ono no carry typhoid moawa no wakwakosi aduane bia enye hygienic so na won so wakwakoto se aduane ni bia di anase wakonum nsuo bia aye contaminated moawa na omode sa typhoid fever ne ba no ukonum bia osu benya typhoid yare ni bi woni padwem basa na no na di yam kika ne ba ma aduane bia to ye mu na sisie na ye osefe basa ne mu aposo no wapaso anhwe yi a obeka se bia eye all sakra na eye osa na so na ye typhoid fever ena sadie ne ehu papa etimi bubo nsu ni mu ntokro aduane to mu na oyem ni tutu na wonhu ne wonya wo ho wonya Tabia Herbal Mixture meka ho asema no pe ya me sha obo se Tabia de ade a wochina ne ade a fever soso Tabia no eji se fever nsoso fever soso a obewie ni sesi se typhoid no fever so be we ni sesia enti ya ye basically se emwa na entu fever se kra enti na over 20 years ni Tabia ye da so kra mu a ufa ba bia Tabia bibidurofo ni nyina na ye be ya adwen de se Tabia Company Limited de ye kama malaria se eduru nto ase de ye Tabia Herbal product no enu na di se adwuma no na afin so uyo obi a wonum ato untimi ni di ebron beka se loss of appetite aduane ni si wanim pa na so emu flavor na eba ni se akono ede na so ano no ntimi eni di onte hwe woni padwanim yare ebe monka ye sa na start ye so wene de mi fili se medidi oso a enhye se ye fasting bi eba sa Tabia Herbal Mixture ni bi na start no obohu se bebie wo yam nim ama watimi adidi kama ni padwane hi aduane se be ya ube guo eye sa na nyankopon hyehye me nu obi obetimi aka se me kɔ ne trabe 2 months na se ya me mfa aduane yanema ye fasting ne kwan so wi I was so di fruit ni ade na body ni nya energy enti ade a nipadua ni hi aduane enti wo ho na wanum ato untimi ni di ase wunyini yie ase wunyini ni nyefa unya Tabia Herbal Mixture ni bi na se wonono mo a boost appetite no ma wodidi yie pa enti Mr. Tabia Herbal Mixture no no na wadi dosage ni so amaye o pathway say ye bottle na ya na ye de kata so se be ya obehwie no ni nyina production costs ye free so account Mr. Okoto na ebi nhye ho a pe atreketo a o use ofie ne hwie mienu guso anopa mienu guso awia mienu guso anwumre ade ba ko a ya na fever no ochini anase female anopheles mosquito no malaria ne ba no ade a ochini kra na ye ne tan woni wiase mi ne se wo be treat malaria no wo se manu maduro no menum ye na nso me hu se me ho to me na meja yesi ho eni afi kwa no akojinja no afi na obe start ada ne ho stronko adi woni pagyanim enti de bia advice say tabia product ni de ye nim the efficacy level tabia product ni enti mesra wo start say o no medro no na wo hunu say 3 days pepepepe wo start to wa num wie to bottle na say we are so no hunu sure baby kete kranim num wie ma entu malaria mo awa ni nyina mfi ni padwam enkoye so Mr. Abia ne de ye dro papa me num ye 3 days pepepe na me ho to me e na me di si wo ye tight sa calls ni bebre mesro num ni nyina fa wie maye unum wie anu afo hunu se malaria mo awa ni nyina fi ni padwam de onum Tabia bia ne be ya adwe se o start sa wonum Tabia na hu se wo dwonso yellow ni tichi one ma malaria na tena won so ache no odwunso yellow pa na afi efiu ni padwanim kaka sa na malaria ni nyina aye fiu ni padwanim o wi a na Tabia zanika ni bia boost immune system no amame eche se e wo se ni padwa ni benya ahoden de akwa aba e your immune system no mo awo na e wo immune system no mo eno ne boost immune system no nti wonya Tabia zanika ni bia na wanonom de bia no flourish o white tissues no eno red blood cells ne boa infections de enya ade a unya bie wotai no nom Tabia zanike na de bia wa himfi ho ye kroje wakwasi ni nso ye kroje enyi kan ye bia ma ho efi bia ma ho bibia eye boko e de ma Tabia zanike no eye se ma nkwa na num eyeye ne wanya 12 years e ko betima ma ne bia nom gide wa fa afuro de o ma akola no fo e na wontimi ma no ye product ni bi but apart from that no Tabia zanike ni de obia betimi anom nom na prevent you from so attractive infections if free baby a yemfa ye ni hu no na boost immune system no aya na me prefer say anka wo treat malaria na anka wa pezanike no a combine Tabia herbal mixture no na wa hwia ye ne combo di amame na we boost immune system no na malaria mixture no so treat di ni de free ni padwanim ama na bibia ye kroje ne enani oposa nani bebre infections won ani so enye ni nwa na ya na ye koko infections ba wani so o type sapos wani bebre o type konkwan wo minimu ni nyina bi ho na ye infections onya Tabia zanika ni bi na se wono no mo a eyi sa de ni nyina si fi ho kroje de ma na afi immune system no I very active and strong de bia obekọ adwuma so aba kama product we nyina free Tabia Herbal Company Limited open dodo atru open ba ko ato a o free our numbers no 024368 61
0243
68 61 and I say 0245 74 92 06 na afei makamfo minim say yemre ne ya so anesa na makamfo Tabia Herbal capsules no e de amobia ne sisi eye ne ya de constipation wono so de kokko afifiri ni bebre emfa ho ne ba bia afifiri wo bia unya Tabia Herbal capsules no na wono mo a sa adre mpacho de bia ka ho asem eya kedru eye pegative enti wonom Tabia Herbal capsules na estati se kanwa ensuo enkonum bibi fufuro bia amani nkotwa e wo se detoxify body nim na yi cholesterol ne frames na akeka kan nipadua ni nyina mu free ho na wo nipadua no e de ne ho e free sa ne ma ni nyina mu enti mesre no de capsules ne de unya eye baako once every week onom baako na wotwe na me na bes wa repeat we yi baako asa anum biem enkonum ne 22 because e be kan e na wonom so a emfa nkwa adwuma Tabia Herbal capsules no a emfa nkwa adwuma e be clear osisi ni mu amaman ni bibia na won so ansa na be makro be ma yemu be ye okay no e wo so clean osisi ni mu yie enti obe hia Tabia Herbal capsules no wo de yes adwumadi ni nyina awia afi nam de baby no ama Tabia ta akum no na chese odi akofie na odi akogye wani wo mpaso eno de ye ma ne meme adura ye didi arose ye sex life ema ye sex ni mu ani je no eye boko ye be ma na utie mi na sebi wuntimi nkokwa so yi a enye fawie enenye eniwusem se obe frɛ se wo Tabia ta akum ana obe work to any pharmacy ana se herbal shop se me to Tabia ta akum eno ye ho adura na wunya ahoden nti mesro ye Tabia ta akum na ye wo kroche na makasa wo taidi wo a prolong wo testosterone no e ma sperm nso mu ye duru nti Tabia Herbal capsules no ene Tabia ta akum na ye de aba no mesro mo ntoto na mundi enro yi nyina wunya 18 years emfa wo san ko ho wa fa fru nso a mesro hwe no wa nko ho o ma akola no fo enko ho. But apart from that no obiara timi to tabia herbal product no frɛ ye na nkomo bi e wo eche no ye mfa to aso na ye nsori nkonya so e na message 0243 68 61 and answer 0245 74 92 06 do obi a pese to bia no Kumasi drug le okokone nak Misty Herbal Lapidank Baseline Pharmaceutical PFA nom Sax Pharmacy Yellow and Orange onumu nyina eje ye niema enkan so your repash na nabo achi dependable tina tetmo mean sunya ne kran so de na ebuso ho museum wani root herbal bo ase ye smart herbal takrade ni keep kosin in pattern for mani nche Christ the King say Charles nom ene ebu akwa pharmacy nom na montoto na ye nyina ye ntutu ye ho yare afiwe de mesi me declare ni say wapomuden no eye de wodi beko ni padua ni mti e hye wonsa sa wo behwe wapomuden ho so ye nemom no adekora won no make sure say enkofa boni bia embre woni padua
ensumapa ena otin nkanu tabia na odi ehu ensem edi ebrain yakọ Parliament House straight away na fe yakọ akofa enema ekoso de ekofa suspension baye enra the minority in Parliament omo she tuntum edi koye de chanting ahodo akopiem ewo ho ene block om ko wura ho ni dwumadem ko de yakọ na fe yenhwe de ekoso ewo Parliament and strong. We are all in power. We are all in power. We are all in power. All right, enti we eye de ekoso ewo Parliament House we minority na tuntum ne kokko ano pe meka so ase ya sheda pam jesi ne dia show munyasem kuma yango na ngotie the minority leader in Parliament ora afenyo Markins and some odi etudwa and so ho ekwakofa ehonsem yango na ngotie no na afi yemra.
Speaker, you remember the story of Shylock when he demanded his pound of flesh. A plea came from Portia, who was the supposed counsel for the debtor. Mr. Speaker, this is what he had to say, and I rely on it to mount the next line of my submission. That the quality of mercy is not strained, it droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven upon the earth beneath. It is twice blessed. It blessed him that gives and him that takes. Mr. Speaker, we cannot, Mr. Speaker.
We the minority leader in Parliament. Now what is said in some tudra okutu shalog nyame. Yan kona fi the majority leader. Yan Mahama Yargansun sama or the tudra on the floor of Parliament. Yan go to so Emra.
And Friday, so Speaker, it is a fact that the first time His Excellency John Dramani Mahama nominated the first time the first set of ministerial nominees were announced was on the 9th of January 2025. Today, Mr. Speaker, is the 4th of February 2025. We are not yet even 1 month into the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But Mr. Speaker, we have vetted and approved a number of ministers, but overall we have vetted and by the close of today would have approved 42 ministerial nominees out of 60. The reason why we are even at 42 is because since Friday we have not yet received any additional nominations. So in effect, we have finished vetting and hope to conclude the approval of 42 nominees to ministerial appointments. As a matter of fact, all those who have been nominated to serve as the cabinet of the government have actually been vetted and some approved by this House. This is a record performance that this House should be proud of itself. And we have done so in spite of the theatrics and the drama, with the cooperation and support of our colleagues on the minority side. Process, there have been some incidents. They are regrettable.
We the majority leader in Parliament, Yura Mahama Yargan Samodi to join ministers. No, Yasako Swa Francis Owusu entry minister for Mame Fantujwa, Minister designate for the Bono East region, Felix Ofosukwache, Minister for Minister of State responsible for government communications, Afeuko Edramwa Eko Penyin Ochrim, Minister for Central Region, Poison Charles Wanga, Minister for Upper West Region, Ono Edie Abam, Afei Salisu B. Arbe Isifu, Minister for Savannah Region, Wilbert Petit Brentum, Minister for Western North Region, Joseph Nelson, Minister for Western Region, Joseph Adei Akwabua, Minister for Bono East Region, Ono so Edie Enso Aba Abetomafei, the Etwaswe Kwabena Minka Akando, Minister for Health, Samuel Okudjeto Ablakwa, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Seidu Isifu, Minister of State, Climate Change and Sustainability, not just say we a 12 na a day kind and there were other ministerial appointments and I say approvals and also Memfa and also Entujam and for Emamo na Yanshe and also Enumna and I say a buy and any Honorable Abdul Rashid Hassan Pepu, Minister for Ministry of Labor, Jobs and Employment, Afei Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Honorable Samuel Nete George, Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikwe, Minister for Transport, Wamonso Yetimi Provunu. And so right, Yakwako Fire just a video hunsem na fi yaba betwaso. Kwache Adia Efe.
Champion KOD.
Good morning.
Morning,
champion. Oh yeah.
Nyame adom na.
Nyame ase me so hu ya pa. Aha. Yankudwa so.
Right. Ediama wo o behwe so bi a wo hepatitis B a eye bi ewo ye ho afesi kire yare diabetes nso eye bi ewo ye ho na sickle cell eno nso ye hwe emojam wo ho na blood group a wo mu no eboa yi pa ni nyina peso hwe a eye asida laboratory clinic na ewo sa wo ba afei blood pressure nso ye ewo ye ha hepatitis B se unyanya bi a ye wo ho pane a ye bo a ebo ho ban a unya sa yade ni ebie eno so peso obo bi a oba asida clinic laboratory ye ni nyina bi enso e de ma kamakama pa na enne anabusumi mu eye odobusumi February busumi nti no asida clinic laboratory mpanifo se eye odobusumi nto mo kire odo enti bo mo gino ha nyina o ma chemu se pempempen ya oba ebo a efo so na ede ema wo na energy semsa ne se ahaji health insurance wa ha enti be bia wo bia Dr. Besuma koyemo jamu hwemu bra bia no for ni kirem ewo asida clinic laboratory ba ye be bibia kamakama pa e dia ma ye wo kumase adum asida house a efia Kessben fi wo mu isa fi ye mo eno mo so wo adwuada kosida memenda ye adwuma gina ben na frɛ na be mo bia ohia bia no ye mfa enso mo number ne 0557 522 622 0557 522 622 na mpanifo beje wo so Kessben Travel and Tours men control say akwanto mu nsem ye kan do ni mo say ya na ye nyina ye nim say bia wo passport wa e na abrochire be ya ye nyina akoye passport bi ne da so tie you abusuanya asenkuma na so Kessben Travel and Tours men control say me pa che unim akwanto hwe unim akwanto afutuo unim bibia fa akwanto mu a eye Kessben Travel and Tour ene wo se oba e bia wa hobo aso opeso otu kwan o call my be so o ko school o ko visit anase bia o ko akwansra bibia o ko bia no na akoye adwuma eye Kessben Travel and Tour ne wo so oba brane ntufo oman na akoso no botanti a wo ko beboa anase emmoa emprempre hia obi anaye hia obi de Donald Trump ya mamamfo ani abriye pa Kessben Travel and Tour se bra e betufo se e wo se wo anase ni se wo kro o tiketa betwa baby abeda hotel ni ade mo amko visit ni ade bibia oba eye Kessben Travel and Tour ne wo so ori bibia besoaye ne me pache watna ye emfosi kan kosha connection ma bia unhunu da bia mobile money e na fafa WhatsApp e na ye say there because me se bra oba beto ye na e oni ye di nkomo kama pa ye wokumase adum Kessben aseda house a e wo fia ya na oba beto ye juada kosimi mende ye adwuma bra ni akwanto mu nkomo number be frɛ won so no e 0209 43 49 99 0209 43 49 99 na ye peche so me dimafo herbal clinic Dr. Time da so no wa bin yie pa ya enya senkuma ya die bia ho bia no kɔ na fa kɔma Dr. Time da so hu no ano na wa hye ebre ato oyade no so se oyade ebusu miensa na wɔtwe miensa na wɔtwe mienu anase da we bedru na yade no to afiri so ampani ampa bedru ho no na yade no atu de afiri mogya mu kɔ na ne Dr. Time da so nko hye ade bia diabetes pressure stroke anase eye enamu nsan ade na ha wo prostate problem bia no a eye me dimafo herbal clinic Dr. Time da so elho na ewo so kro owo kumase ya atwemagogo no oye adwuma ya enya senkuma akra me pa charge na be na frɛ no na oni no eni enkomo number ni 0244 7742 820244 7742 na ye peje so multi credit savings salon sanya mfinhia aduono enum 25 years ho anniversary afahye ekoso no nya senkuma wa odi sika na akora sika wa yaso ebia na mpanifo se nka nkire mo se eto ana da eye niam ya de mamo so message ni alert ahodo no omoyi saa to ni nyina fisu ne eba free o pebesian so a mo betima aka bo mu se ekuo no mababaji group loan ewo ho na ankran so nko an so betimi aba na wadwuma wo ye bibia abaji besian bi na odi atrim kama pa no so beba no na ewo so yo bia wa akora sika wa ho bo so mienu ani akire anaso atusu busu mienu ni akire wo ho onso qualify kama pa enso wo ho nya senkuma afenso niam bebre ye enepa ene ye de agu akwan so a multi credit savings salon simen kan fanchiro nti utie wo fie na onya bebo foto e wo multi credit amesro branch bi e ben obi abowura mo na kokobo foto ho na fisha se efese kagum na nche onso so ade a ye chei onso ebeso so bowura branch bia na sa adepei onso onsa ebekan ode ekeodi
me da se kwacha de afi na wote ne nka no straight away young sanko Parliament yenkohwe honorable Dominic Nitiwool sama ononso editu on the floor of Parliament no do trust or the beka koma the oral no na omo ahwe kwamba faso because state capture no enye from 2017 to 2024 kwa nemom from 2009 to 2016 ABC NT almost invest yenkoti honorable Dominic Nitiwool in some of the two on the floor of Parliament.
We know.
Oh, well,
you and I
Honorable
are very
Chairman.
much aware
Chairman, thank you.
about certain things that we do in closed city. So please.
Chairman, thank you. Yes, Honorable Dominic.
Mr. Speaker, I was not at the vetting of him. In fact, I wanted to be there, but I wasn't there. But Mr. Speaker, I watched him live. And live, I watched him. It was there for everybody to see. It was not about closed sitting. When he said, every Ghanaian heard it. When that question was put to him by the minority leader. So the people of Ghana are still demanding these answers. It will help him and help this proposal and help every politician. It will help every politician if he's able to let the people of Ghana know where he's getting money to rent that property at Airport Hill. Mr. Speaker, I commend them for saying that they will do oral work. I commend you. I just want you to make sure that the oral committee is set up properly according to law and do your work. But Mr. Speaker, I want them to go to Botema first. Go to Botema first. Check the land that was given between 2014 and 2015, 2016. Who are the members who benefited Botema? Go to Botema. Committee chairman, I want you to go to Botema. Affordable had where President Kufuor built. The land that shares boundaries will be state land. It was given in 2014 and 2015, part of it 2016. Find out the people who own that land. Mr. Chairman of Ora, I want you to go to Aviation land, that huge land at Medina, Adenta, the Aviation land. Find out the people who owned that land. You are part of Ora. Go and do that. Mr. Chairman of Ora, I want you to go to Tamale, behind what we call the residency, where the president sometimes goes and he sleeps. Go and find out, they're all state lands. Go and find out the owners of those lands. Go and find out. Mr. Chairman, I want you to go.
I'm tired.
Well, so we are Honorable Dominic Nitiwu, former Defense Minister and on the floor of Parliament, or the SM Ahodo Eddie Etugam. And here make us say Honorable Vincent Asaribediakom, a former parliamentary candidate for the NDC Offenso South, or no Ewaha. Your train said Jimmy Buachi Ansa, member Ashanti Regional Communication Team, MPP, or no Sobewaha, Nafe, Wofa, Kufia Piaswaha. We are delving into the issues and then discussing them as we are supposed to. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
Naboko dear.
Ajana dear, Namenadum, Mama, Tim Kwame dear, Yasden in Amano.
Adasi.
The anyone say Yame Emma at the Pachua. No one said, where the Fiebe or
with the affair, anyway.
Two phone Uncle Pass, say, Wamaya can't as a phone and pay.
All right. Over there, Mamana Kwabena. Right, my answer said from the ministerial vetting approval, near Mekukosu, the upliftment of a year suspension. Yanka honum parliament dealing in yanka muya yababe share issues apeja ewo education mutitu FR training colleges allowances no honorable
mention something akwanya wo de amame yentimi begina asante mama abraye nchira yewura otumfo se tutu nana onkwaso onana mechiao anopai na me aminua ya appointing as regional minister Franka Mwakohene me gire an appointment there. In fact, from A to Z, will be an appointment na a buy because hard work pays. And intimidity so we are Jumaden. Now when you such an appointment, will be any ayade ejahon. Iti Yura Michel, any Asante Mine, NDC na Yura Isham, any regional chairman, Nana Akosi. Now my come constituency, so no much am a constituency chairman, and then a secretary, near executive sir. Omuma me be parliamentary candidate e offense so me gidi say sa akonya we enye easy yana enye easy but me gidi say executive no time achi ema o hwe offense so a unprecedented vote and you picking or offense so this time around. I think said there was a collective decision and there was a teamwork and enona ema yetimi FIFA vote etesa na me gidi say we are not going to rest until we take the seat 2028. And I think say Juma eguso koso offense so emra yaban so ayede ababem iti bi ni ameka ni nyina atofa no de ye ka nyina ne se de ekoso nyina no eye ye nyina ye nimsem na eduru ba bia ya na saade we de nimse wo ye den a ebesisi because ye nimse ye nuanom no enne omu number no emo number enti se omu ankekam no omu antiatia mu a menya sure say their voice will be heard anywhere.
Nti substance ni di omo kan mu ana.
Wa hun say normal e kosi ni nyina
no. But in all no.
Hwabi ni ade we ya esi ni me de bia me betena radio so a de me catch and say NDC should take lessons from it.
Okay.
They shouldn't take it for granted. Say, oh, and they nuanum akose into ye di agro na ye di be ye bibi. Because Ghana for me hunu abato. Kane na ye take bibia oh no hadi ye beto ama hadi ye be na ma hunu say Ghana ye hunu abato. And with time, both voter and Ashanti region, your trend of votes ni na besa asasa. Edunti ye nua NDC for and I am penny for mo ho no mo mutiri nye omo de say ne ye nuanom e kosa situation mu a Jesus say omu tietia mu ye ansa na anase omu national executive ebe baaki omu ansa na omu hunu say omu mu ayede ayedu ene so omu timi ya appointment wo parliament wo ka ho ema omu voice no mu yedu anko meye but it shows say yensu yemsua bibi nye dey free mo but the woman say wo hwe ora issue ye ba ye ya ye nuanom e raise concern say your friends Abrakwa yankɔ ne airport hills nkobusa na japade ne honkro ne ba ohandan ye bibia o regime enunti if you knew say or ye fraud anasa or you be a adenji na akotena bench ansa na be raise concern say all because ye the oraba eba be hwehwe aban japade mu nti if sa na tie de a ene ye ma yengu nipa no ho fin Senebeya in the first place, report or the Babon Teno, Ebeya reporter, Ghanaians will not believe it because already no nipano, ne ho ayede efi. Sa subino and I was sell my Ghana, esi jato. Because otina hono, it was 8 years now. And I was on an hour bemu. At that time, who was special prosecutor, una de baye. One to me scrutinize it, one to me and one to me and and na papai. I building who to the stand say and then enipa nyina de ani die na obuo ema okujeto Abrakwa ene de ye koye no chama for orade a mo se ene de ye so mu a die enunti ye ma papa no nye fin say ono kro nya sika we na me ma ye nuanom MPP fo ahunu say ye kase ye buso obi asika mu de a ene yanka ehu because me gidi say sanitation minister kra de wono de ye hu no red-handed but ye washing away and then minim baby a case no kwa akoye dey akoduru papa we will take your appointment even on call office ba ne wife no si wonya ade a ene meka se mu MPP for mu na man nya sa wife no na mama obi anya wife awie a afedie ya ye ne chairman se wo scrutinize enoma katase hye ne proya ekoso o man no mu dia ene sa na tie dia ye ngu ne ho fi sa suba ne de Ghanaians we like it. And with all due respect, I'm a war edema anidie no obuo ema ye mpanyimfo no ye besere omu. Say am pointing and come nye so say de way ene no ma ekoso nke beye. Once onya appointment ne dia because na ye woni pa bebre o a omuni appointment ye ngu omu fi. Na so onya appointment ene sa na tie dia ye nse no. Now the report ba ye nyina ya ntimi anye dai anso
is it wrong ono ankasa nso be subjecting to some investigations say ebia wona odi ade ne see whoever calls the court
equity should come with clean hands
yes
and I me worried ne say me how nyina ne say mo say eyede wotimi acquire that wealth no ewo ho
okay
and this is not the time for you to ask this
okay
wotina mo 8 good years ni ada na sa time no de one course say edi entina o ye de nya sika kotoye on the city and na me no ka say youth na ye ba ne de kwa bi fa so nya o musika de udi agro wan hwe ya o mistake because and na amanfo tena internet so ne yi me wo me friend bi o ono IT expert on kwa adwuma on ko ba bi o tene dem but adwuma obeye ne sika obenya no wan hwe ya abakaka kase bia wa ye bibia na bibisa enu ntimi me de ne say under your regime ene nipa no kotena ho enunti ede na prevent we say wo special prosecutor wo do say yi no uti say Abrakwa akohan sa dan sa na ma wo ho no wantimi anko scrutinize sa do ma no eno ne me first how am but me dey minim say before the yesuban no ye nya hunu say
that time na kan ye hunu say political witch hunting because en na ba
fi but they the same omo ye nkrofo bebre ye nkrofo bebre
okay
Enuntiano dear, I don't see anything. And I said wrong with say, oh, she will be the moi enye. One of the city and enuntia basro, Momasum Yemra. Na se see ane dear. So mu po, so mu po, because I can't mun crowd ya. And ka Sam George crowd them, and yes, you are saying, you better approve no. Because I'm rather minority. You muye, but if we are saying no, dear Uye Biano. Ana adie bia wo ye bia wo nsunsuaso eno nti me giri se Nyankopon ye omfiri obia kokofuom wode ne ho de opa ne ho ye enti ye nuanom se o kikamuni no ma o ye nyina no emfa hwe nye de emma de miminim no se yewura chemen sabonso wo ho no empo uhwe the way a osi comport no ho oso si di no ma bebre abra wan koso dede ana bibisa enti ye besra afadwo market kamia ye say ya doso dodo but the more now oh yes I know man he's a very respected person. Me when it comes to privilege committee or teso committee or muteso we how he ask questions need those you could see say nyame achenande or he's a very intelligent person. But the more now oh yeah no man bebre no ebedru baby no people will not take you serious. Okay. Normal bi wo ka nipa nya de emfa biem eti ye besere ne se de oye bia no oma eni ni nhihye eni ni na sori ni bibia oye bia no emfa kwam se na be ya da chi bi no onu so nya opportunity because we know that those people no they are the people who come and lead us enu ti na de wo ye onua no etena wo ye den ya be de ebe ba so but de minim no se for now ye nua no MPP fo ahunu se omu numbers no emo number enu ntidi omu ye nyina ye se de bia omu bekikam ama omu national executive abe support omu but what we know ni say sa ade na asase a ekoso no menyi ni se ebeboa and ye speaker of parliament ase se ewiase se wuhunu sa ade a waye enye na wutimi ekowachi na sa ba biem a megiri se ede asomdwie ba ema papa pepe ye so ye de eba megiri se omu amuni mra mu no ma yete ase se na speaker eni tumi se oye saade
eno ase o tumi o
de me pesa me ma ohunu se lawyers na akotu ana megiri se nam saye so ama wono so ya asuti
ono wanya ntumu sa
enti ede osesa no
o say o ma be panicho
okay
se bi akwada oba jana na gu anaso ye nka
de ya hwehwa na ya asomdwie.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Dankwah pass say babin wa lefty ama asomdwie aye because they be amekasa we have one country your friend Ghana whether MPP or whether NDC and what say you make sure say etina me kasa de be am ye youth say me party ba no ya ade anya me ba betna ha wasa meka because ye crofo bi wo a ene omu na ebe take lead no wudi agro kakra do omu di oman ko wura amena mu a ye ne ye ho be kire ye enti ye da speakers say watimi asesa na decision ama ne asumdua na MPP pe omu nsa aka but ye can say said the Bible no ka o say go and sin no more no sa suba na omu da na ho no kika table no omu gu oman Ghana anim ase and na ewiase nyina so de ehwe omu enti they should go and sin no more na omudede ne de emfa mu ya papa bi anye de
that's honorable na speaker and some of the two journalists say because the entity the relevant committees nti emrama no kwan say otimi suspend ne panoma be panicho ene ne wagiatum nti that is the situation hono mame kodoma Jimmy boachiansa akwaba Jimmy
kiodi
boko de
nyamiadomo
pachano amane so kakra
ya nyamiadom bibia
position ya voice call
Jimmy you hear in the course of parliament approval the minority chom from some approval of some ministers vetio especially Sam George Eni Okuyeto Ablakwa the speaker rescinding decision said nei nipa nine na nkochoma so no we ye free ho. Honorable Dominic Nitiwu at the accusation Abba so no so Chakoma oral said there are other members of the National Democratic Congress also anya state capture binti and transcend the enco. Everyone say I hear the Minister of Education ni allowance who say mamiti for the next 8 minutes.
Okay, mamenda was na memfanchi asronkomo bibia wajebre na wutie Kessben machi jumadi yura Kwabena kese so mwana baso na inchan baby obia ofakofi wautia kunywemo minua ndisi ne wa ha Kua PSC ya pages no mom keka wonyina Ethiopia kwansonko so me come constituency inshaye so I'm a member of Parliament Dr. Stephen Amoa any party from pen from one person so nyina chairman odeno kwaku apia maybe obi aso me fenchi so confirm no the general secretary of our party lawyer Justin Frimpong Kodua aminchi ono so na babuno and ne wotu no ho si wonum so be pre youth national youth organizer Ira Clement Opokuja mfisi so minchi ya enen komona yedi no mempesi e be twisting komono what you see nze the party ba e wo power ade no nyakra na wo try a wo force say wo be fra no ntoma but se bi ade a enya die na enye on wo de ntoma fra so kra na pampan ni gum na be de e be pie so nkomono ni asem na ye kan nyina ne say ya tu abawi ya tu abawi en yiru kuje tu ablakwa itu no ho epe nipa bi kan no ho se ombe boama omo a sebio omo fuma ban ya japade no ya gise japade ni nyina ye den efre mu nsem ebinum ho no kra na nye se omo fuma japade bena akwakwa ite se ye to abawie na afi na ban na free power send the pani nya appointment into uhwe kra ye mre mu a obi ti ufie na sese bio ne mre so se wo so to free ho no ma ye man be bosom miensa e man de boa no ho organize a different location ansa na nipa no waye den wo move di akọ be ye hwe enanu di ehu ye ya na ite se wada se wonya baabi a wukotena wada se wonya baabi a wukotena yenyi unia mengu abonten ehu bebre de to so biem se me am you kujetu ablakwa se mesi meboa ama ya capture state properties akudi amanfo hodia one word yada de okan no se he who calls for equity must come with what?
Clean hands.
A clean hands. And then when you live in a glass house too, you don't what? You don't throw stones. Obi pie, why you juma ora no so. Na de bia me kase won hwe, ewi ase wote won ma. Na obi asemba obeka bi. Asem bia fa obi ahu bia ba, obi nya wa mo akoka bi no. Wo ye sandi pa na no hwe hu ye pa. Obi pie appointment committee nanim no. One gaza manfo hu say there are issues about you.
On one manfo hu.
Yes.
How?
They na into kwani CEO committee nanim a akasa ne sa ne ma no course no. Eye wono 93.3 o kan hu bi na sa issue ne happen.
E dey no ye.
That very day no. That very day na omusi aye no. Na onka omo a ye veti omo no. Now on come until the agreed number of people are we decide this on that day. Now on come but you see strategically because any who was no na opekwen bi obefaso because they came unprepared for him no obabi wurem na
you can't blame him
meba ti asena
me too
o hwe time o de ba ye na me pacho kasa na metia no se yedin
pacho ona will just allow him
o hwe time a o de ba ya eye time a na o mo wi dwumedie na
asa no ntimi mpegya ne pese o konse invite no
utie
the way he was invited
me pacho tie say even though I don't know whoever invited him utie the press conference minority for ni ye na almost clerk na oda committee no so ofrefre omo no or your NDC ni and what she's supposed to do ni say obia obeba vetting and I say obeba appointment committee na nim bia no o provide information about them say when mu na eba that very day na on kan and time oba and so na o ma bre 1 2 they didn't prepare for him. That is why I try some before so I'm appear before the committee. So
you don't blame him. You blame those and say because original no can dia. I don't know nothing baby me be your friend say memra me de my dey.
Debbie, asam na mekano ke odi be so oti ase.
Mameti ase.
Is he then a minority side of the appointment committee? No omonya aware say
ask those who invited him
because they knew that there were issues around him.
Anyway.
What you say?
Anyway.
Nti omabre nke de ne betena ho no ma anka within a short period of time because omabre nti no anka muntumi ntoto na no ana de otoso mienu so no omunim so obeba. Nti questions ne ma bi a obetena ho no mo mbibisa no they didn't prepare. And strategically in that day no buy ya basa CEO appointment committee a create impression be say na ko pekwan bi dwane fa baby api
omo na pekwa de na wura ho ana so na pekwa wura ho
what say ono na epe ana say won na epe say omo de ye whatever the case may be you know na it was a strategy to push him through the vetting in a smooth way but anya juma we be committee name no team you here let me put this information on your show. Unim say ora for the drone. According to the minority leader. Also one cry and your friend say baby ote e won constituency no. Omo wa na drone. Among for the drone enenam efie no so. The residents I war other parts of even the central region. Among for complaints are a drone, among for fly drone over your properties. In a way, you know, they feel say, ebi or no wafa at buying Japadi be a woofy. Say be a kaibia. A demand and be a package if you want nebia. Or Muntumin refuge on when we use drone to fly over the house, okay, and then inspect the things in the house. Into a no or more could you to a black white yes or no on far by Japadi. Secondly, information I will better appointment committee name. Would the bro man say, baby, I will turn what time for 8 years. Let's get this right. No, say, or better for 8 years. Into a better for 8 years now will be MB San Rene. It doesn't mean say this time around will be any right. And I don't say it's a non-starter. Or better if you when they were in office. And he acquired it when they whatever processor
acquired or higher.
What does say or someone say we share property now and crate was so chere say e ni nua bad ya and minimum be a airport house the cost of renting alone is so huge that a difficult say even we a member of parliament crowd we seek abosumi so aketu e de ma no we wait me afford
information I gather crown say Airport Hills, young high down. Very good. Want owners to live in their houses there.
Very good. Into your no asemo be catch appointment committee ni say. O high down na chese one ayen tro. De to so mienu. Obeso my tia say, "O so high down a de ko yen krata mu so na dan a o si uti mu no." Eye unua ba. Ena ne din ye den. E wo so.
E unua ba no de high no.
No, they say so we live a certain lifestyle. Na asase na wote so no na say government land me ga what you say enti na wo chesi amanfo say o makototo government lands dia na say wo so asase a wote so no a government land automatically wontumi nka no kre say government land e was okay say ohan me ga what you say so he came there to expose himself on one kasa be ebe go ni wani mase
within a minute we remember na
what you say
yes move on to the next one
they kan nyina ne say enne one more say, I'm the move front to my fita. Woman, I'm a mopa, man for move front to my cocorn. Or my goom, massy. I expose woman to yourself and in now the air catching young men dizzy for say. Within their party, within their caucus, say, ya almost call it appointments, no, Mampany engine free in some.
Because end this for now.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
my press you could press statements cry the about one thing.
NDC for.
Yeah.
I press statement say yen free black one sem.
E binum the about one thing say.
Okay binum the.
As a professional group we omo the about one thing say.
Yes.
issues surrounding on deserve. See a man that, and then in addition to that, in Usha's press statement on my na time MPP war power na information na omu communicating say you recruit to a Dankwah a leaky between 2021 and 2023 or minor documents ni information be ulikidi ma an international group be na ayete say or MPP aban no eto ewo niema bi ho and through that information or no the commands ni peku a omuni oman Ghana mo omunya Ghana for senka omunhwehwe mu nanka omungu MPP ho fi no enne so what the send the be foreign affairs minister erase an issue be say he cannot be trusted with the information of the country.
All right.
And these are the callings ba ye nyina no eda yenim ye besre so issue ndem you some judge issue ne dem pese mekumu be.
Thank you very much. Who said daughter of Medra to Senator at Parliament? How many times has the minority leader pleaded to the Speaker of Parliament this year? Say Kabis ewo ni odubi asizungu ena oduwe abrain. Say we say let me take some few more. Masood ewo Kumasi Bantama say Mr. Speaker's action was just an intimidation and a deliberate attempt to undermine the minority role in holding the government accountable. The minorities led by Honorable Maakye will resist all forms of intimidation and unfairness in the application of parliamentary rules. Okay, so Mahama is telling us Hardcastle and Upper East Minister are going to work under him. Please, President, don't be hypocrite. You can't tell Ghanaians you are not going to appoint arrogant people in your government and do otherwise. Prince good morning, please. What is Senator Dankwah saying? He doesn't have the copy of his Airport Hills rent. Can this man be trusted? And to some George, you went to delay show and then told the whole world your wife has stopped working, taking care of your 2 children, and she feeds you interesting times ahead. And also the allowance and even the loans can be scrapped if possible. We saw some of them waiving the allowance on social media that they collected but will vote against the then government and will do same with NDC. They should use that money for something else different. I think those appointed for ministerial position must be without blemish, and any illusion about them would tarnish the ministry, considering renting mansion at Airport Hills 8 years with 15,000 Ghana cedis salary. This call for investigations on also at the UK. Ashford Nameko, Hona Michael, also good morning, Kodi. Please, sometimes it baffles me how colleges of education behave towards these allowances, because once their qualification has been upgraded to degree, they should be treated as those in the other universities. That's your opinion. We say good morning. I'm asking you this: how much is our fuel price? Fuel price they say sign a TM. Mystic Vanda Avoko Ewo and Sawem Adwedri. Ono Edibia said that na Ado Dankwah Ekufuado Dr. Baumia led government and Afenyo Maakye led MPP caucus performed miserably, lost the 2024 elections catastrophically. The Afenyo Maakye led minority caucus should spare our ears with the cacophony and stop the vandalism. Ghana will surely work again under the experienced and tried and tested President John Mahama. All right, Lawrence Bachi Ewo Asenyan Kwanta Efro Buche obeying a year Unity Filling Station. No, so nobody must cry for the teacher trainee when and if the allowances get cancelled, because that was what they decided to vote for. The NDC, especially under the leadership of President Mahama, has long made their intentions clear that trainee allowances are unnecessary and must be scrapped. We all live to see. All right. Mame Peke, me last once. Nafe, men twice. I say Eric Kwekubwedi. I say, congratulations to the minority in Parliament. Now the Speaker lifts suspension of the 4 MPs. Speaker can't hold the heat for the minority in Parliament until the minority in Parliament will do the right thing. They won't have peace. Now, fuel prices increase for the 3rd time in 2025. So this is NDC resetting. Propaganda had brought the NDC into power and will expose them when things were getting tough, because we won Ghanaians. But they didn't listen. Now, resetting is already here. My men call a year teacher trainee allowances in a bruhaha a woho and a minister Babon Tiabeka said that was not the report he brought out. Now, Osombe consultation stakeholder meetings to arrive at a definite difference and decision. By prayer, what the graphic at the bar said, duly, and yet teacher trainee allowance. Call. Jimmy, my message said for free hold this time around. For want of time, do this one in 6 minutes for me.
Kill the mammy was it. Now, on the teacher trainee issue, no. TBB as you.
Then I want to say,
I want Penny Mahama. I think say, me stance on the teacher trainee allowance, even including the nursing trainee allowance as well. Because on several occasions, Wabra MPP implemented this very policy. He said it that Oba Bishimukena. Oba, he believed in it. It has come to stay. Inti Edian Asesa. And I know the vote. Not the penances for the vote, Anna.
So also a review. Into your review, we are not for who the stance will be taking. No, and not so a problem.
No, you see, the communication by the daily graphic was emphatic. Here, the omo de Ghana for a diagro. Didn't make us baby. Yet to be yet to be you're a setepe, former finance minister, or you be keko. Eba bontin be catcher say free SHS policy no. And say am de be mu obe ko school first come no no fan to aduane ndi o mpeso mu twam ne de nkeka ho nyina. Iwi echire mampani ba bontin be ka say wonsoma no. Anya sanity. Enne mampani an appointment one a special advisor on economy.
Setepe.
So I say yanko test it, yanko kawe nchom ne hwede yom besi react. And now appointing as your special advisor on the economy. Obeka sama we see minimum hwe.
So Satam no appointing.
The same thing. The same thing. I was just making a reference to it. Satam no appointing a Korana na ni dinda ho. Say obitime and special advisor. They are playing on the Ghana food diagro. Akwanya ye fo aso a MPP aban mampani akufo do policies bi wo mo implement ye no nya enye easy se ne be ya Ghana fo ho beto wo mo se ne be ya Ghana fo soso no aban no e wo na ho odi mu no obetimi ama mo asunso wo mo kakra. The MPP and the Akufo-Addo administration did all these things. And you spoke against it. Mokasetiae bebre ene baby a beduru no eda yi nyina yenim induru baby a wo bosome mai anamboa
oh munyanya bosome say na fifth
that yes bosome say Ghana water nyina wo moton no bosome obetra kunya so bosome mayo fuo yatumu prensa yatutumu emprensa ade ese ekoto abade edi ahoto aba no mampani betena so bosome kra ma you know fu patria tumu ba ku mienu miensa
ti ne krakra
dum so hu ba bi omde nenam ene Ghana card unum se enkola na omo 5 years e de kopim 14 years 5 years dipa bebre nim se ya start ya Ghana card e de ma enkola omo 5 years e de kopim 14 years nanu ya omo betra so busumi ya omo se oba ekwa Ghana card 3.310 Ghana cedis 310 Ghana cedis card woni bi kura na okoya and aban we MPP aban wo na woni bi na okoya for free me say please massa you no me say a portrait
national platform like this and lie
a portrait doing this I'm on the beto abontin engineer make say e bia moya madwen say we ade ni we na mo de beto abontin na manfo cassette ya na fe de makwa abonchaka abeka se muni mo hwe de a ene Ghana for no omo obi ni mo kapa
medasi Jimmy, thank you very much. Honorable
Minia medawase
the next 5 minutes.
Minia wakotena opposition awse mu suade mo suade na mo yom adwene se mo saade sa arrogant na ye gina so Ghana for the to abeti am over 1.7 million votes no mbesa tena kirache en yankopon so ade a won penentro eti ade bia wo ye bia wo de ntro be associate with it no wo call it the wealth abufuo yankopon abufu hyew eba wo so what I say enunti ena me no kase PRO for national identification card wa ba bontene o si old ade na no ma say na even CEO kra kotena so no what di say and what the prices aba me Ghana card because of being a member of parliament I was contesting for us to be a member of parliament me Ghana card for na a deal because they were calling me surprise we eda ho enye
say new ones not
what I say you to me they have been telling people say
new ones not be ni nyina na ye be charge
na be pia that is why and let me say I will put my integrity on the line let me speak with integrity.
New Ghana card time man
MPP was I will put my integrity on the line. Call the PRO for the national identification card.
And Kwalana yesha say from that younger age to 14 no ye you be at 310 Ghana cedis.
Me and PRO wakasa.
Okay.
The mete and say oba ye be fufra e free.
Okay.
And and he's the source person, or he is the spokesperson for the National Identification Authority. And nothing I make us say, yeah, but we entertain and we educate.
Yeah.
And you also you're taking a primary source of information from the good people la yamu mandate no. It's not make us say mama young friend, now me put him integrity on the line. Young friend, young tear and some of the and aside that on, young opposition, or my imagine say on between futuro. But and now me no kase. Me ba and now me no kase. And now me no kase. On my way, you better take ye ni 1 month. Ti se be before ana Ghanaians nim say bibi koso na enya. No reasonable Ghanaian will blame NDC for that. Because obi abeji akonya 3 weeks. And if there's issues be bats now o atibutu ye ko near the cocoa 900 and something metric tons. Mo person na mo be enjoy. Ye di jaw. Ye jaw no ma wo ho. Enunti se na ya betena 3 weeks. Na sa no ma we nyina esisi a. Wo be so akira say ye betena 2 weeks 3 weeks na di we yaba. But before I will come to allowance issue no. One thing I know no say president has tasked people say omu review your education system. That is what I know. And whatever anybody may say or will say, I don't take it.
All right.
Meaning say committee na juma omo ye no. Per omo report to omo de beba no. Eno na bema omampanyini a take a decision on what to do in the education sector. Secondly, adie bi because me say o man we on. Ya the politics na adie bi ho na no kure bi o ayanka. Ene obi wo nursing training or take a diploma. And if that person or alawa, I don't have problem. Me, I don't have problem with, especially the nurses when they take allowance. I don't see the need. Say you cancel nursing training. Okay. But the teacher training, I have ever, me in my life, I've ever said it. Say, sad year way, mama yen training no my way, because and I'm no say. Yeah, or call University of Winneba. We did the same degree with these people. Ya baba ontina ya no mu na esa be kira de. Ya kwa ya kwaji lo mimi ji lo. Lo na ya ji ya no me ba ya me ko ya adwuma ya tete me. But wono no ji allowance, or ji feeding, or ji bibia. Or we are sa no be ji the same salary. Abra ye nyina ya sa ya Ghana ni ma.
Nti omomoko nursing na omutwe scars like
obian wa ko nursing a year okoye diploma they all take degree.
Okay.
Omomoko university no they okoye degree
the diploma for
what I say omudi and they take shape also degree the training college no na can training college what I say enunti na omuji allowance na many problem but I say abey degree I woni university ni nyina ye pe eti identity the university for the omu nya alawa if me also omu implement this idea any also come university for also allowance ni bi.
I see. That so is what but we are specialized institutional. You have that form so you could train you must be
portal now. Say omu be education portal now. Ye fa we mu so ka ho bi. Ye we ni ba ne do so yin. Ye fa ye so ye ka ho bi. Eti ye so ye ba ne ye be che bi so ye so bi ko kire primary ni JSS na sa. I know my colleagues are me and me boy they also have the same class 1 class 2 class 5 yeah.
But okay. So I understand you.
What the enti ade bi o wa yeah. Eti na me say o man panyina set committee to review your education system and me gidi say omo de omo report na ba ye nyina ye be gina so na ye de aka but now no media me ka kire ye mpanyimfo say we should be very careful with our utterances because the enti America say say MPP for I alert on the road say Osle pocket to abi they will take it on because
thank you very much.
Quite recently they said say you see free SHS ye twam
thank you
yama and na free SHS omo di abna rice
thank you very much
you see
thank you very much Honorable Vincent.
Leadership should be mindful of their language.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yari Jumadie no AC na ya sorry your time na so Meda Jimmy ase Meda Honorable Vincent so ase but enko ne wish happy birthday. We a special happy birthday. Eko ama Richmond Kweku Amofa na de okanyina se Nyankopon no otiso ho no a ushirama na ebroso no oma ne shiramroso emra woso na mfia wasan enya ne nei Nyankopon enhyemo kena no ma mfia hodo bebre enka ho na afi odo ene nkunimdie ene bibibia ye ewa brabomu nyina no yemfa pi woso o say may this year be the best one and continue to be the greatest from your lovely and the entire your love and the entire family your pages na do we mami enti na de hono enti owura your friends Richmond Kweku Amofa Nyankopon enshapa me dey Kwabena osu Dankwah meda Honorable Vincent asare bediako ase na mada Jimmy Boachansa ase ekua pesi asare bediako ena hye dwumadie no na yada wofa Kofi Apianso ase ye nyina kabom ne dwumadie ebrɛw ye sɔre so ama the sports crew at the midfield action no atwaso edi amayen ene bye bye